Well, I'm sorry, almost double that. It was 2.3 trillion.
Oh shit.
So,
Yeah.
50% of that. Anyway, so government conspiracies and shit like that are all kind of inherent. They're all hand in hand with stuff like that.
Right.
Because there's a profit to be made. If the U.S. has that kind of technology, then the world doesn't.
So
we have the upper hand.
How did they get there? Who got there?
Oh,
How long
I'm
did it
sorry.
take?
Yes,
yeah,
that's what we were on.
Yeah.
Thank you. God, fuck.
Yes, I got it.
Yeah. So they declared him missing. Not that he was dead. Not that the plane was down. They said the plane had gone down and the pilot was missing. So you're telling me he ejected? Right. We covered the scenario. What happens if he hadn't ejected?
No, it's not. I mean,
He smashed.
he's in that canyon.
They show.
Yeah.
So he ejected. You're telling me they don't have a beacon on the seat?
Pilot. Yeah.
That he doesn't have a distress beacon that he presses?
Mm-hmm.
There's not some sort of flare that he can send up?
This was recently?
This was less than 2 weeks ago. So you're telling me like that he doesn't have any of this stuff that says, like,
I'm right here.
Yeah, fuck.
Yeah.
There's none of that.
Right.
Or
All the fail safes failed.
Or yeah, too many coincidences.
Right.
But you're telling me that he, even if the seat ejects, it doesn't have some sort of thing that said, shit, we're over here.
Yeah. At least in this general area, please come find me.
Even if the guy drops the seat and walks away, that thing's gonna sit there chirping. So you find the seat and be like, okay, he fucking landed here.
Yeah.
I would assume that there's something like that.
Right.
But they couldn't find him for over 24 hours, a full day. They declared him missing, and then they declared him dead.
Because they found him, or
yes, allegedly. Now, I'm not saying that this guy didn't crash. I'm not saying that he didn't die. What I'm suggesting is that maybe the reason that there weren't all these fail-safes, maybe he didn't eject, maybe he didn't have a beacon if he had gotten out, is because maybe what he was flying wasn't something that had those technologies. What he was flying was something that had evolved beyond that stuff, where the people who were intended to fly it
didn't use that.
Didn't need it.
They weren't traveling amongst the planet. They were traveling amongst the stars.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
he was out there Will Smithing. He had got him one of those.
Exactly. He's out there hot dogging in a fucking narrow canyon and clipped something in some technology that he had no business flying.
So there was no saving it.
And even if the ship lasted, because we've talked about the memory metal and stuff like that, where it'll crumple and then it'll reform.
Yeah.
So even if the ship survived, the person inside likely doesn't have a 5-point harness that clicks in with impact control and a Hans device and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like they're not. There's likely not something like that for intergalactic travel.
Exactly.
I can only assume.
You're in a memory gel in a slightly suspended state.
Right.
Alexa, thank you much. We now know the name of the Lemoore-based fighter jet pilot who was killed in that crash on Wednesday in the Death Valley National Park. He's been identified as 33-year-old Lieutenant Charles Walker. In a series of tweets, the Navy described him as an incredible aviator, husband, and son.
July 31st, 2019 will forever be remembered as a tragedy for everyone connected to Naval Air Station Lemoore. A single-seat F-18E fighter jet like this was in the middle of low-level training in Death Valley National Park's Rainbow Canyon when it went down Wednesday. 2 days later, the Navy has identified the pilot in that jet as Lieutenant Charles Walker. We don't know how long he'd been stationed in Lemoore, but he made quite an impression. Captain James Bates, commander for the Strike Fighter Wing Pacific, called him an integral member of the vigilante family, saying, "His absence will be keenly felt on the flight line. Our aviators understand the risk associated with this profession, and they knowingly accept it in service to our nation." Lieutenant Walker's squadron was attached to aircraft carrier USS John C. Stennis. On Twitter, I chatted with an air controller on that ship. He described Lieutenant Walker as a very professional and amazing person to talk to in person and in flight.
I'm leaving all that shit in. You heard me say it. Just don't puss out at the last minute, Greg.
Hey, that's perfect. Yeah,
that's why I did it. So I can only assume, again, vacuum of information creates speculation. What makes the most sense? Does it make sense that this guy didn't have that stuff?
Unless
that he didn't have all these fail safes?
Unless that, I was gonna say the only thing I see too, like, to play the devil's advocate is like, okay, he's
supposed to put on this beacon every time he gets in the plane, and it's on his harness. It clips into his harness, and he goes with the seat, and it stays on him no matter what. But this time, because he's a human, or because he said, fuck it, I've done this a million times, fucking need this, I didn't put it on. You know, so then, okay, yeah, the plane goes down, plane's over
Just
here, we
chirping in
found
his
it.
locker.
Yeah, exactly. Like, who the fuck knows where he's at? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay, but I mean, even still, there would have to be a failsafe. There's one for the pilot. There's one for the seat.
Right.
There's one for the plane.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah, I
one.
don't know.
There's one for the black box.
I also don't know how, like, treacherous it is to be able to search that canyon.
True. I'm just, but
Yeah.
But,
I like to play devil's advocate.
no, absolutely, and you're not wrong in saying that. I mean, it would have to be tough if it's something that they're navigating. I mean, you've seen it in the movies. You've seen how tight it is with jets and stuff in there. It would have to be difficult with a helicopter.
Well, and even thinking locally where we grew up, sometimes when they know people are dead in an accident in the Upper Kings, they got to let it chill for 2 days until they know the water is going to not be doing as gnarly shit, because we're putting more lives in danger trying to put this operation to save bodies in. Like, we have to wait 2 days. Like, we're not going to kill more people.
we know it's hung up at the dam.
Yeah,
we just have to wait until the water level drops a little bit.
So that's like, something where it's just the water. There's not canyon walls.
But they tell you that.
Right. But this is the military's business your business?
Yes.
But really, like, are they just out and open with everything? It's like,
no. And see, what I'm advocating for is transparency. I'm not saying
it's a lot of tax money going in that we don't know about, guys.
And that's what I'm saying. Like,
what's the next Bluetooth? You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to
taking-
watch movies like this.
If they're taking our money and using it for this, we should get to see it. We should get to be a part of it. And I'm not saying they got to tell us everything.
Right.
But if they know about life on another planet, if they know about
but maybe it's just like you said, this, like, we can't handle it.
You have
like,
to
maybe you can handle it.
You have to put that information out there and let people decide. And maybe that's what they've already done. Yeah. Maybe that's why this whole disclosure movement, maybe that's them doing that.
It is fairly new. We're only like a few months into it.
But maybe it's also disinformation to throw us off the trail, and they're going to mix
because
in
something
all the
big is happening right now.
Exactly. So there's so much speculation because there's a vacuum of information. But I suppose even still, with my distrust of the government and a lot of different people's distrust of the government, so if the government came out and was like, okay, listen, the A's are real. That's a thing. We've known about it since 1947.
Shut the fuck up about it already.
Yeah,
okay?
really, seriously, shut the fuck up. They're getting tired of it. They said if you fucking nerds keep podcasting about it, and if they actually specifically asked for David Duchovny to just fuck off. Like, they blame him for a lot of this.
We get it. He's like, I get that a lot.
Yeah, he's just sitting there with like a martini and 3 blondes. He's like, I'm into this whole Californication thing now. I don't even care.
This is my character. This is who I am.
They're like, that was 9 years ago. He's like,
still who I am.
Yeah, this is the last thing I did. But, you know what I'm saying? Like, so even if they did put some information out there, like, do I really fucking believe it? Do I believe the extent? So if they're like, yeah, the Greys are real.
So how does it
if
get
they're like
to
the
a
Greys
point
are real,
where...
does that mean the reptilians aren't? Does that mean the reptilians do
Right.
exist on some sort of scale, but we just haven't made contact?
So government comes out tomorrow and says, Greys are real. Your reaction is...
What else is real?
It's not prove it, show me the Greys.
Show me the Greys. Absolutely.
But what else?
Absolutely
What else is
show
there?
me verifiable proof. Don't just tell me it's real.
Yeah.
Show me proof.
It's like we have the Greys because
But what else is
physically
real?
they're not so superior to us. Maybe technologically, when they've got all the tools, they can.
Right.
But that's why we're telling you about the Greys. But we're not telling you about these fucking crazy cloud-based psychic aliens
My
that
name is Fot.
Yeah, exactly. That can make you implode your own head, and you wouldn't even know they were, within 10 miles of you.
Right. Or they're ultraviolet and they walk amongst us.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and every time they touch you, that's deja vu.
Oh.
Like, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Shit like that. So I would want to know. I want proof. I want, show me. Show me something real. Show me something tangible. Show me a non-grainy video of one flying by.
Never.
Show me an autopsy video that hasn't been run through 56 fucking static filters.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Or
Show
one
me,
like a photo that's being showed off completely as an alien photographs, and then when we reverse image search it, they're X-Files, new X-Files photos.
Right.
You know,
that
like
was such fucking bullshit because I did reverse image search it. That pissed me off.
I was trying to leave that part
No,
out for you.
That's fine. No, I can admit when I'm wrong. I fucking found one and was like, what?
Yeah, I mean, it looks incredible, and we hadn't watched the new
And-
X-Files.
I've been watching X-Files.
And you saw him?
I saw it and I was like, you motherfucker, I recognize you.
You were like, and that looks incredible.
yeah. Also, good job.
Good job, buddies. Because for practical effects,
Yeah.
it looks real. if
But
you
show
make
me
it.
something real.
Yeah.
Show me. Don't show me Skinny Bob anymore. I've seen Skinny Bob.
Right.
Show me the rest of it. Show me.
Yeah.
Show me something tangible. Show me one interacting with somebody and
Yeah, I was gonna
saying,
say,
you know,
I don't
my
wanna see
God, this
the-
is incredible.
I don't want to see the autopsy. I want to see the
The
remember that real creepy one where it's just the guy being real existential. It's like the alien being real existential about the human race, where he's just like talking about how like we are our own downfall.
Yeah.
Blah, blah. Like, show me. I want to see something like that. Maybe not talking in English, but it's like it's understanding and it's like, you know, communicating however we've decided to translate.
Yeah.
Whether it's math or whatever it is. You
Right.
know? Yeah.
Yeah, so stuff like that, I mean, because I don't know, man. Like I want stuff like that to exist, and if the government knows about it, especially something like that, they owe it to the people to put it out there and let them decide.
That information needs to be allowed
That-
to be inside the bunker.
That needs to be public information. I don't care if you want to go, well, I mean, I do care if you want to go spy on Russia, but you don't have to tell me
Right.
that you're going to go spy on Russia. I personally don't give a
I
shit.
want to know what different species have landed on our planet that are not of this planet.
Oh, exactly. I want to know what has been on this planet that originated somewhere else.
Right.
I want to know what technology you have.
They look at you and just say, "It's you, Martian Greg."
You're the alien and everybody else is as you want them to be.
Whoa.
Um,
Motherfuckers took 32 years to tell me this?
right. We've been dropping hints, dude. Look. Fuck.
The walls are melting.
No. Did you feel it?
Well, that's cool, man. I'm glad to make a broad swipe at all things alien with you.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me in the bunker.
Totally. It was fun.
Yeah, it was.
It'll work.
Left-handed bad angle. What are you going to do about it? It's a dork 5.
Yeah.
What are we doing right now, really?
Yeah, who gives a shit?
Who gives a shit?
Yeah, thanks for being on. We'll do this again. Maybe next time I won't have to blindfold you and take you through the whole second airport. And
I kind of liked what they did at that last checkpoint.
I told him.
Yeah.
I told him to just give you a little extra.
I thought you might have.
Yeah. That's why I had you fill out that questionnaire.
Which also was a waiver of all my rights, but that's fine too.
That's why you're being filmed. Yes. All right, man. Well,
aliens.
yeah, we did it. we discussed the supernatural.
Woo! Cool, man.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Bye.
See ya.
This has been another presentation from Super Network.